Construction on the junior cert ordinary level. So this is construction 1, bisector of a given angle. Okay, so this is construction 1. Now, what you're going to have here is you're going to be given an angle in the test. Okay, so you'll be given an angle, and what you need to do is you're going to cut this angle in half. So what you need to do with this angle is you're going to get your compass, and you're going to obviously going to use this compass to cut the angle in half. So you're going to pick a length that's not too big. It can't be over the size of the line. And what you're going to do is you're going to make sure your tip is on the corner of the angle. And you're going to do 2 arcs, 1 and 2. And then you're going to bring it up to where you just made your arcs, keeping it the same length. And then you're going to make 2 new arcs, 3. And you're going to bring it down. And this one's going to be your 4th arc here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just have to make a cross here, okay? Now all we have to do next is you just get a ruler. And what you do with the ruler is you're going to align the ruler so that it joins the angle to the X. Okay? So a bit more. Pretty much like that there, okay? Then you're going to draw on the ruler until it hits the X, and you've basically cut your angle in half. Okay, so that's the first construction right there. Now, the other case could be you could have an obtuse angle, okay? So that's an example of an acute angle being bisected. Bisect means to cut in half. So here is an obtuse angle, and we have to cut this angle in half as well. So once again, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our compass. We're going to put our compass on the angle, the corner of the angle, and then we're going to make 2 arcs like last time. So this is going to be arc number 1, and the second one here is going to be the second arc, like so. Arc number 2. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to do what we did last time, move our compass up to where we created the second arc, keeping it the same compass width, and then we're going to do our next one here. That's our first arc. Then we go over here to make the second arc, like so. And we can see that it intersects here. And once again, you're going to bring down your ruler. And what we can see by rotating it here, you can see that the angle is now cut in half. Okay, by putting it through here. So we can now see that the angle is cut in half, bisected, okay? So that's 2 examples of a bisector of an angle. Cut the angle in half. Now construction number 2 is the perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a line segment. So a line segment is two lines, okay? So we're going to have a line segment of, we call it C to D. C to D. This is a line segment. And what we want to do is we want to draw a line that goes at 90 degrees. It's perpendicular. And bisect means it cuts it in half. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're just going to take out the compass. And you're going to put the compass onto one of the points, C or D. So we're just going to actually bring these down a little. Just because we haven't got enough space above the board. Okay, so we're going to cut this in half. So to cut this in half, what we're going to do is we're going to put our compass on point C, and we're going to make a length that's above halfway. So any length above halfway is grand. So what we can do is this here. We can just make an arc above and an arc below the line. Make sure it's a reasonably big arc. Okay, then we're going to go move the compass, keeping the same width, over to point D, turn it around. Then we're going to cut this again. So there's the first one, and here's the second one. Right, move it out of the way. And once again, we're going to get our ruler, and we can flip this ruler up like so, and we can join these 2 points together. And what we should get when we join these 2 points together, we should get a straight line that goes through both of them and cuts the line in half. So there we go. So when you measure this, like so, we can actually see that the length of the line is about 9.4 centimeters, and cutting it halfway is about 4.7. So we can see that we successfully cut the line in half by measuring it. Okay. Now the next one, although it's the third one in our line, is actually the fourth construction on the sequence, right? So a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. Okay. So a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. We just did that one there a second ago, so it isn't actually this one. This one's number 4. A line perpendicular to a given line passing through a given point on L. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a line, the line L, and on L we're going to have a point. This point can be any point you want. We'll call it point B for the sake of it, okay? Now, a line perpendicular to L passing through the point on L. Okay, so we have to make sure that we get a perpendicular line that goes through this point B, perpendicular to the original line. So perpendicular to the given line L, this is line L, and passing through a point, the point is B, it's on L. So what we do is we do what we did on the last one more or less, but what we're going to do is we're going to use B as the midpoint. B is the midpoint because it has to go through B. So what we can do is we can make 2 marks on this. Okay, so we can make a mark here. We can go over the other side of the same length and make a mark here. And what this does is it creates 2 points. We can call them A and C. And A and C are 2 points, which B is the midpoint. Then we can repeat construction number 2. And what we can do is we can now going to this point A. What we can do is we can pick a length bigger than AB and draw our arcs above and below the axis like last time. So okay, so we're just making our arcs above and below the line. So here's the first arc. Then the second arc can be underneath here, like so. Now just make sure that first arc is big enough that you'll get the intersection of both of them. So like so. Then we're going to move this over the other side. Rotate. And now what we can do is we can get the next 2 arcs here. So there's the first one. Rotate upwards. And here's the second one. Once again, we're going to come in with our ruler. I'm going to flip it over and join these 2 points together. So what we have here is this line here. Okay, so that's officially cutting the line in half. Okay. Now you can see that the line is slightly off, so I made a quick error there, so I'm just going to bring it over just a little bit more to get it more accurate. Now I always use pencil for these because you want to get your lines as accurate as possible, so that's a bit more accurate than the last one. So there we go, my line is now perpendicular bisector through B, point B, okay? Next one, a line parallel to a given line passing through a given point. So what we're going to be given for this one is we're going to be given a point L. Okay, and the point L is, so we're going to be given a point above a line. So we're going to be given a line L, and we're going to be given a point above this line. So that's L there, and the point above this line can be point A. We want to draw a line through A that's parallel to L. So there's 2 ways of doing this, okay? So we'll try it probably the more difficult way first, and then we'll try the easy way second, okay? So the first thing we want you to do is we're going to join the end of the line and draw it up through A, like so. Okay? And we may need a bit more space for this, above and below, so I'm just going to bring this down. Point A is going through the point A, okay? Like so. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to get our compass. Now, the first step is to pick a distance that's it can't be bigger than the distance to A, so it has to be a smaller distance than that. So we're just going to pick a small distance here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 arcs starting off. So the first, we're going to do 1 arc here. Then we're going to do the second arc over here. And there are our first 2 arcs, okay? Now that we have these first 2 arcs done, what we're going to do is we'll label them X and Y. So these 2 points are X and Y. Okay. Now, without changing the compass width, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the point A. Okay, we're not going to change the compass width, and we're going to do another one, another arc up here. Okay, and once we've done this arc here, we're going to label this point as well. So we can call that the point Z if we want. Okay, now once we've done this point here, what we're going to do next is we're going to so what we're going to do is we have to continue this arc all the way over, okay? So this last arc here, we're just on this line here, so what we're going to do is going to continue this arc all the way over so that it's in the same position, like so. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to, we label this the point Z, if you want. And then once you've got this part done, you're going to go down and you're going to measure the distance of X to Y. Okay, so you're actually going to measure the difference between X and Y. You're going to adjust it so that the distance to X and Y is exactly the compass width. Then once you've done that, you can go up to Z and you can now draw another arc going across like this. And now all you got to do is join A to this arc and where the A to where the cross is, and then you can get a perfectly straight line that's parallel to the one you just drew. Okay. So, and if you draw it through, there's our line that's parallel to L but goes through A. Okay. Now, we're going to do another way of doing this question. So we're just going to go right back to the start. And if we go right back to the start, okay, before we drew this line, what we're going to do is going to take A out of here. And we're going to try and figure out another way of doing this, okay? Now, another good way of doing this will be just, you're going to draw the line straight through A again. You could use 2 set squares, okay? So the first set square would be here. So these are set squares, and what you're going to do is you're going to rotate them around so that they match up like a square. They match up so they're directly underneath the line, okay? You're going to get a second set square, like so. And you're going to bring that down and rotate it underneath as well. So basically what you're looking to do is you're looking to make a rectangle out of both of them, okay? Like so. Now, what you can do with one relative to the other one is we're going to slide this set square here, the bottom set square. So you're setting up the set squares like this, so that the top set square is level with the line, okay? Now what you're going to do is you can hold the top set square down. This is the top set square here, and slide the second set square up along it. Okay, so it's just you're keeping them in contact with each other. Okay, so you're up along it. Now what you can do next is you can slide the second set square up until it goes directly underneath A. Now you can see at the start the line is parallel to L. So as it goes up, it stays parallel. Excuse me there. It stays parallel, so you just keep sliding it up against it until it reaches A, the point A, and just make sure it's still in contact right all the way through, and then you can draw your second line, which is also parallel to A. Okay, so there's your 2 bases there, so that's an easier way of doing that. Okay. Next one. Division of a line segment into 2 or 3 equal segments without measure. So look, we're going to divide a line segment into 2. So we have a line segment here. We'll do it 2 different ways, right? So here's my line segment here. And what I want to do is I want to divide this line segment in half without measuring. Okay, so without measuring, what we need to do is we can draw a line coming from any angle you want. It can be any angle whatsoever, above or below, and you're going to make this line segment bigger than your original line. Okay, so you're going to use a ruler for that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your compass, and once you have your compass, you're going to do with the compass is you're going to make it a certain width. Okay, any width you want, provided you only use 2 of them, so you don't have to go too small with it. So here we go here. So we're going to do one cut here, and then we're going to do another cut here. Okay, now that we have that done, what we're going to do next is these points, you can label them. You can label this, that can be A, that's B. These 2 points can be C and D if you want. The letters don't matter. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get a set square and a ruler. So here's the ruler here. And the first thing we're going to do with the ruler is we're going to join D to B. Okay, so we're going to spin this around, join D to B. Just make sure it's nice and accurate. D to B. Okay, so that's pretty good. You can put a line through here, so there's D to B right there. Now, what we can do next is we're going to align the ruler parallel with the line, the diagonal line we just drew at the start. Okay, so we want to make this sure this ruler is like right on it, so it's parallel to the line. So there it is. There we can see it's parallel. Now what we can do next is we can get our set square. Okay, I'm just going to make the set square a bit smaller. And what we can do with this set square is we can orientate the set square so that it's perpendicular to the ruler I just had, and hence perpendicular to the ruler, so we can see that it matches the line exactly. Okay, so what we're now going to do is we're going to move the set square in this direction. Okay, and while holding the ruler firm. Okay, so we got to make sure the ruler is held firm. What we're going to do is we're going to slide it along until we reach point C. We just after reaching point C there, then we can draw up, and now we've cut the line successfully in half. So there we go there. Now, the next way of doing this would have been to this is dividing it into 2 equal segments. We're now going to do 3 equal segments. Okay, so 3 equal segments. So the first question would be divided into 2 equal segments. We just made sure that these 2 are equal to each other. The next one we're going to do is dividing it into 3 equal segments. So what we can do with this is we just get rid of our workings from the last one. Okay, so like the last time, you're going to get your compass, and you're going to set your compass at a distance. So start from scratch here actually. Okay, so what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to draw a line longer than AB, and then we're going to get a compass. And what we're going to do with the compass is we're going to use 3 equal segments this time. Okay, so we're just going to make it a bit smaller because it's 3 segments this time. So here's my first segment, 1. Keep it the same distance. There's my second segment, and my third segment is down here. So what we can do is we can just label these. Okay, so we can label them C, D, and E. And like last time, what we're going to do is we're going to get our ruler, and we're going to join the last point, which is E, to B. So E to the point B. Like so. Okay, so as you can see, it joins up there, E to B. Now, as with the last one, we're going to turn it around and we're going to keep it parallel to the line. Okay, so that's now parallel to the line. We're going to get our set square, and we're going to try and line up our set square so that's perpendicular. Now it's not always parallel as it was in the last case. Okay, the last one's just very fortunate. But we have to make sure more than anything is that the set square is basically parallel to the vertical line. Okay, so we can see the set square is very much perpendicular to the is very much parallel to the line BE. So we're going to make sure that the ruler here is directly underneath, like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to shift it across and draw the lines. Okay, so we're going to shift them across. We know that this point here is going to be DE, so it's parallel to EB, goes through D. Then we're going to shift it across again, keeping it on level with the ruler. Okay, so what we can see now is going to be C. We're going to do another line here, and now we can see that we just have to divide the line AB up into 3 equal segments, 1, 2, and 3. Okay guys, now the main thing is with all of these is to make sure that this here, this triangle or set square, is parallel to the last line you draw, and make sure that the ruler is at 90 degrees with it, so you can slide it forward and back to draw the other 2 lines parallel to the line BE. Alright guys, next one. A line segment of a given length on a given ray. So this one here we just did was construction 6. And the next one on now is construction 8. Okay, so this is construction 8. Construction 8, okay. Now, a line segment of a given length on a given ray. So a line segment of a given length. So what a ray is a very long line, okay. So you have a very long line, okay. So you can have a line with 2 points on it. So this is a ray here. Ray's going one direction, okay. So what we have here is we have X at the start, and we have Y at the end. And what it'll ask us to do is it'll give us the length it wants us to draw on it, right? So we'll call it 5 centimeters. Draw a line segment of 5 centimeters on the given ray. So what we need to do for this one is we need to get the ruler, and what also we're going to do with the ruler is we're going to draw a line segment of 5 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to measure up here. There's the 1, 0 to 5. Just make sure it's reasonably accurate. Now you can see I went over a little, so we're just going to get the rubber. We're just going to rub it out so it's 5 exactly. So remember, always use the pencils here. Okay. Okay, so that's roughly 5 centimeters there. It's close as I'm going to get. Now we can call this line segment CD. And to draw this onto the ray we have below, we're going to get our compass. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our compass, like so. And we're going to adjust this so it's the same compass width as the line we just had there a second ago. So we're going to make sure the compass D, and we're going to make it the same width as the line segment of 5 centimeters. Okay, so this here is now 5 centimeters. So what we can do is we're now going to use the same compass width on our line segment. So we know that this compass is currently separated by 5 centimeters from point to point. So what we can do here is we can put on our compass width of 5 centimeters, like so. We call this the point Z. Okay, and then to draw the ray, all we got to do next is we can just get a straight edge and then shade it in that this is our line segment here. Okay, so just make sure you shade it in. Might have went over a little bit. So this is the ray drawn on the actual line. Okay, so there we go. So that was construction 8. So that's construction 8 done. Next one we're on is construction 9. Okay, so just make sure it's shaded in all the way. Okay, so construction 9. Just make sure you spell construction right. Construction 9. An angle of given number of degrees with a given ray as one arm. Okay, so what's going to do to you in this question is it's going to give you a ray, like so. And on the ray, it's going to say an angle of a given number of degrees. So it might say an angle of 50 degrees. Draw an angle of 50 degrees with a given ray as its arm. So this, what all you got to do here is you just get your protractor. You go to the start of the ray. So make sure you put this part here. This is the most important part. You put that on the end of the point. So it's going to be the ray here is going to have letters. So the ray here can be the ray A, and then it might have B at the end. So this is the ray AB, okay? And it goes all the way through AB. Now all we got to do, you're going to be given that in the question. You bring up your compass, you line up the spot with the point A, and then you go up 50 degrees. So you mark the 50 degree mark. So we can see the 50 degree mark is just here. Same as the 130, okay, so that's up 50 degrees. Once you've done that, all you gotta do next is just draw a line going straight through it. So get your straight edge or your ruler, then join the points. So you can see that there's 50 degrees, okay? So 50 degrees up, draw the line through, and there you go. Now make sure you mark in that it's 50 degrees, okay? That's very important to show that you actually did it as 50 degrees. Okay, so that's construction 9. Okay, and that's the first couple of constructions we've done. So we've done construction 9, construction 8, construction 6. This one here is construction 5. Using the set squares. This is also construction. This is construction 4. So we've got a good few of the constructions done. Now, the next constructions we need to do are going to be a triangle given the lengths of all 3 sides. Okay, so this is SSS data. Okay, so this is construction 10. Okay, and what's actually do is draw a triangle or construct a triangle given all the lengths of all 3 sides. Okay, so we call this construction 10. So what we're going to say is it's going to give us a constructed triangle where AB equals 6 centimeters, AC equals 4 centimeters, and BC equals 8 centimeters. So what you'll always do in these questions is you'll get the longest arm first, okay? So the longest one is BC. So draw a line of 8 centimeters across, okay? So always start off with the longest one as your base. So this is B to C. See, I just went over there a little. So we're just going to. So we can mark that point there, B to C. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your compass, like so. And once you have your compass, what you're going to do is you're going to measure out. You can measure out AB if you want. So AB is the same thing as BA. So AB is 6 centimeters long. So you make your compass 6 centimeters long. And what you do now is you draw an arc. Just give a different color. So we're going to draw out an arc here. And that's 6 centimeters long, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do, we just did AB. Now we're going to do AC, which is 4 centimeters long, okay? So we're going to go over, back down to our line. We're just going to get a different color now for this one. Go green. And in the test you're going to be using all the same color. Now this one here is the 4 centimeter one. So we're just going to reduce it down to 4 centimeters. If we can. So just be quite precise in your measurements, okay? So that's about as 4 centimeters as I'm going to get, okay? So we go over to your side and you get up a C here and then you're going to do it at 4 centimeters. Okay, so make sure it points on the edge of the line, and then you're going to draw upwards like so, and see where the 2 points hit. You can now construct your triangle, because this is point A, the only point that's left. And then what you're going to do is you can join all 3 sides to that. So you can just up we go, and make sure that you join the sides together. So that's about right there. So we can, there's the first line, and then we're going to join the second one now. Second. And we have our triangle. So we have our triangle here, okay? There we go. Our triangle ABC. Okay guys, next question is construction 11, or next construction. Construct a triangle given SAS data. That's side angle side data. SSS was 3 sides. SAS is side 1 angle and another side. Construction 11. Okay. Now for construction 11, what it can give us is the following. It can tell us 2 lengths. It can go ED is 10 centimeters. It can tell us that the angle DEF, now remember the middle letter is the most important, that means DEF, this angle, this is the angle sign here, is 40 degrees. And then finally EF is the other side, and it is 7 centimeters. So here we go, we have side, angle, side. So step 1 is to draw out the longest side. The longest side is ED. So it's a 10 centimeters long. Just going to draw a line 10 centimeters long. Okay, so that's 10 centimeters long. Just do it one more time, just see if we can get it more accurate. Okay, so that's 10 centimeters long. And what we're going to do next is we're going to get out the protractor. Okay. And we're going to use the protractor to mark the angle of 40 degrees, okay? So we just after doing E to D, which is the longest line. And we know that the angle is located at E, because E is the middle letter. So the angle is going to appear here somewhere. Okay, so the angle has to be 40 degrees, and we don't know what length just yet. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to get out the protractor and mark out a 40 degree angle. So we're going to put the protractor at point E, and we're going to mark out this 40 degree mark here. So you can see 40 degrees is located here at 140, and there we go, just there. Okay. Now that we've got that done, what I'm going to do next, just take my protractor out of the way, take my compass out of the way. So I'm going to use my straight edge to mark this length here. So I'm just going to join this together using the 40 degrees. So that's it there. Now, what I also know is the length is 7 centimeters. Okay. So what I can do next is I can just put down my my ruler, take out my compass, and measure out 7 centimeters. Just going to measure out 7 centimeters. There it is there. And then what I can do is I can put the compass on this mark here, and then I can find out how far 7 centimeters up actually is. So this is 7 centimeters up here. So now I know where the third point is, the point F is. So the point F has to be here. And therefore, if I join D to F, that's the point F, not the point E. So if I join D to F, I can find the full triangle. So all I have to do now is join D to F. There we go there, okay? Then we can join these together. And this is my triangle EDF. Okay, next construction. Triangle given ASA data. This is angle side angle data, okay? So a question might say construct a triangle ABC. And what it might tell us about the triangle ABC is the following. It will tell us that AB is 7 centimeters. It will also tell us that the angle ABC is 70 degrees and the angle BAC is 50 degrees. Now you only have one side to draw. You have to draw AB at the start, okay? Because that's the only way you can start this question. So you're going to get your ruler out and you're going to draw a line of 7 centimeters for AB. Okay, so that's the line AB. A to B. Okay. Next thing we can do is we can get our we can get out the protractor. Okay. We're just going to make this protractor slightly smaller. And what we're going to do with the protractor is we're going to draw the first angle is at angle A. This is angle A because A is in the middle. It's 50 degrees. So 50 degrees is located here. Okay, so just do a bit smaller this time. So that's 50 degrees marked there, okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to draw this 50 degree mark one more time. It didn't come out last time. There it is there. So the 50 degree mark, so we're just going to alternate this up. And what we have here is our 50 degrees from A. Like so. Okay, now keep drawing the line up because we don't know how long this side has to be. Now next step we're going to do is we're going to go to angle B. And we know that the angle at B is 70 degrees. So we go over to B. We put it on there and then we count up 70 degrees, okay? So 70 degrees we can see is up here. This line here. So once again, we're going to get the ruler. And we're going to line this one up here. 110, okay? And then I'm just going to draw this line all the way through. Now we can see where the line hits. That's our triangle there. So we just have to form the triangle from SAS data. This is 7 centimeters. This one here is 70 degrees. And this one here is 50 degrees. And remember to put in your angles. So for instance, in the last question where we did the ASA one, we forgot to put in our information, okay? Our information was that EF is 7 centimeters, DEF is 40 degrees, and ED is 10 centimeters. So just remember to put that stuff in, okay? So likewise, all our information is in the triangle. Okay. So our next construction is construction 13. So this is construction 12. And the next one is going to be construction 13. The right angle triangle given the length of the hypotenuse and one other side. Okay, so once construct a triangle EDF, and the information it will give you is that this information is given. It will tell you that ED is 8 centimeters. It will tell you that the angle EDF is 90 degrees. So this means it has a right angle at point D, right? So angle EDF equals 90 degrees, and it will tell you that EF is also 10 centimeters. Okay, now The unfortunate thing about right angle triangles is that the hypotenuse is always the longest side. Okay, so this means that in this case we're actually going to start off with the 8 centimeter side on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to start off with the 8 centimeter side as the base. So we'll just scroll this down a little. So ED is going to be 8 centimeters long. So from 8 centimeters long, okay, like so, and mark that as ED. Okay, make your point small, E to D. Now, next thing we're going to do then is we're going to get our compass, or sorry, our protractor, and with this protractor we're going to measure a 90-degree angle, because we know that at point D there has to be a 90-degree angle. Okay, so 90 degrees at D, so we can make this here 90 degrees. So you can mark the 90-degree mark up here. You're just going to draw the line going directly upwards. Okay, so once again I'm just going to get the ruler, alternate it up 90 degrees, and draw this line here. So draw this line. You don't know how long it's going to be, so you can just draw it as long as you need it to be. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to measure out the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, so the length of the hypotenuse is going to be 10 centimeters. So 10 centimeters for the line EF, because EF is 10 centimeters long. So once again we're going to get our compass out, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure out 10 centimeters. Now, unfortunately, I've seemed to make this I made this full question a bit too big, so I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to start from scratch for a second and scale down the size of my ruler. Okay, so just going to do for 1 second. Excuse me. We'll just start this from scratch. Okay. Okay, so what we can do with this is we can make just the ruler a bit smaller just to be able to fit this in. So once again, ED is 8 centimeters. Okay, so ED is 8 centimeters. We're going to rub it out like so. So ED is 8 centimeters. E to D. And as stated before, the angle that we're using is 90 degrees. So there's going to be a 90-degree angle at D. So we're just going to make this a bit smaller as well. So we're going to move this point down to D, and we're going to make our 90-degree angle, which is here. Going to move it up, and then we're going to rotate this and join it directly upwards. That is our length of 7 centimeters. Excuse me. There we go, there. Okay, so we have our right angle triangle there. Okay, so that is 90-degree angle, and this here is 8 centimeters long. And now what we got to do is we got our 10 centimeter hypotenuse. Okay, so what we're going to do is just flick this up, and now we got to measure our 10 centimeters for the hypotenuse. So we're just going to get our angle here. Then we're going to measure out 10 centimeters for the hypotenuse. So this time it's just right on the money there. 10 centimeters. We're going to go up to the point E. because we know that's where the line has to start. Then we're going to do a curve here, and where it hits, that's the line. Then all we need to do then is just alternate this up. And what we get there is our triangle, our right angle triangle, where EF so a right angle triangle linking E to F, okay? There we go. E to F there. Okay, so there's our right angle triangle. So this is the point F, and EF is 10 centimeters long. Okay, perfect. Next one. Construction. Okay, this is construction 14. It's looking for you to construct a right angle triangle given one side and one of the acute angles. Okay, so we're going to get a triangle AB. ABC is the triangle, and the information it's going to give us about the triangle ABC is it's going to say that AB is 8 centimeters long. It's also going to say that the angle ABC is 90 degrees. So this means there's a 90-degree angle at B. And then it's going to tell us that the angle ACB is also 50 degrees. So what we can do is we can start off by drawing the only line we know, which is the line AB. We know it's not going to be the hypotenuse because it's basically it's on one at the end of one of these is the 90-degree angle. Okay, so that's how we know that at the point B is the 90-degree angle. So that's how we know that AB isn't going to be the hypotenuse. Okay, so we're going to make this ruler just a bit smaller so we can fit in the full triangle. So part 1, we're going to draw our 8 centimeter long line. Okay, and just make sure it's exactly 8 centimeters. Okay, so this is the line AB. Now what we know about the line B is it's a 90-degree angle, so we just get our protractor out and draw it so it's 90 degrees. So that's a 90-degree angle there. Now that we know that's 90 degrees, what we can do next is we can just draw this here. Now you don't know how long to make it, so make it maybe longer than you need to. So here's our line here, 90 degrees. Okay, we know this here is 90 degrees. Now the next angle we know is that we know at angle ACB is 50 degrees. Okay, so we know that ACB is 50 degrees, and we know that C is up here. Okay, so we know that point C is somewhere up here, and it's got to be 50 degrees. Okay, but if we know that this is 50 degrees, if we were to draw a rough diagram of this, okay, we can say that this is 90, this is angle C is 50, but then we know that angle A has to be 40. Okay, so we know that angle BAC has to be 40 degrees now because of that. So what we also need to do is draw a 40-degree angle up here, and then we'll find out where the point C is. Okay, so we're going to get our point here, and we're going to find out the 40-degree mark is located here. Then also what we got to do is just draw a line going directly through this. Okay, so we'll just rotate this around and get a proper 40 degrees. So what we need to do is just put it through the points. So it goes up 40 degrees through this point here. Then we know there's our triangle there, and that's the angle C. Okay, Now, to check your results, you could actually just use your protractor to make sure that this angle C is 50 degrees. So you're just going to rotate it, put the point up, and you can see that it's located at the 50 mark here. You can see the 50 degree mark located there. Okay, so we do know it's 50 degrees. So we can write in our numbers now. We can write in that this is 50 degrees, this one's 40 degrees, and the angle AB is 8 centimeters. Okay guys, next one. Construction number 15, the last construction on our list. A rectangle given side lengths. So what I want us to do is construct a rectangle. So construct a rectangle ABCD where AB equals 9, the length of AB equals 9 centimeters, and the length of BC equals 4 centimeters. So all we need to do here is just draw a line at the start. Any odd line will do. Okay, and construct a line segment AB where AB is 9 centimeters. Okay, so 9 centimeters long. So we'll just make it a bit smaller. Okay, so 9 centimeters. You can see where the start and end of 9 centimeters are, and this has to be AB. So this part here can be A. This part here can be B. So we can see where the points AB are. So AB being 9 centimeters. Now, the thing we know about rectangles is that they're 90 degrees. Each corner is worth 90 degrees. So what we can do next is we can just draw a get the protractor and rotate it around. So, and we can find out where the 90 degree mark is, and we can see the 90 degree mark down here. So we can put the mark there on 90 degrees. We can do the exact same thing for A, being 90 degrees. Okay, and we can just draw a vertical line going through both of these as well. So a longer line than you need. So we can just draw a line going all the way down. Another line going all the way down. And then once we've done that, we can now mark two 4 centimeter sections on it. Okay, so we need 4 centimeters because that's the length of the line. So this one here is going to be 4 centimeters here. So 4 centimeters is located here, the first one. Then bring it over to the other side. 4 centimeters for the second one. Okay, so we can see the 2 marks made there, 1 and 2, and these are the points C and D. And then all we need to do is just turn it around, join them together, like so, and now we've constructed the rectangle ABCD. Okay, where AB is 9 centimeters and BC is, oh sorry, ABCD, this is the point. Just got the two of them mixed up. It's ABCD, so it has to go A, B, C, and D. So BC is 4 centimeters. Okay, alright guys, that's the end of the video. Best of luck in your junior cert.